Every week, players gather at their local game stores. They trade, and they battle valiantly for both fun and glory. But amidst their triumph, only two will make it to the finals to fight. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to another episode of Final Fights OP10 edition, and tonight we're going to be seeing Zoro versus Sanji. Yes, both of these decks are 3-0. Yes, aggro is very strong in this meta right now, and pretty strong at my locals. That's actually me sitting on the left side there piloting Zoro. Got a pretty awesome suite of Zoro videos going to be coming out here soon, taking down some pretty heavy hitters in the meta. And we're just going to go ahead, and we ended up losing the die roll. Forced to go second against Sanji. Sanji's going to swing into us. We do get to shut up and come with me immediately. Would have loved to hit the good old 3-drop chopper. We do see a 3-drop chopper, but it's not the one we wanted to see. That 3-drop chopper could have put another card into play, but I did not have another option. Just going to 1k counter that 5k attack, and then likely what good old Sanji's going to do is going to play down another body. Sanji, very good at putting down bodies and giving them rush. That's Sanji right there. Another great card in this deck now that OP10 has come out. Good old Sanji, swinging for 6k, and if I decide to kill it, my opponent's just going to draw a card here. So keeps the card advantage, also took a life off me, so pretty solid for my opponent here. Gonna go back to good old Zoro's turn. It's gonna be hard to not just call it my turn because that is me. But anyways, we're gonna play a good old Nami out. Nami's gonna find us the Tony chopper that we needed, the one we've dreamed for, and we've got a perfect amount of Dawn to play that out here. And just thinking a little bit here, I think we're just gonna go. We're definitely gonna play this chopper out, but I did for a second think about going a little harder here. We're gonna go ahead and swing into that. Not gonna give my opponent the 4k chopper. Because I could have just swung that, but instead I did not want to give my opponent a chance to take out one of my bodies. This specific matchup in aggro versus aggro matchups is all about board control, and robbing my opponent a chance to take out one of my bodies is pretty nice here. And then good old Chopper just going to be putting tons of bodies into play every turn as long as it stays around. Does find the blocker Chopper. I might be willing to save it here, but we'll just see what my opponent decides to do here. Gonna go ahead and swing 5k into Tony chopper here. I do have a 2k in hand, though it is my only 2k. Gonna go ahead and just counter out of that, see what else my opponent can do. My opponent shows me a brand new card from the new starter deck, 21, 22, one of those. Good old Robin here. Robin with 2 Dawn attached allows her to take out a 4k or less, and then swings 6k into the other chopper. So I lose 2 bodies on board, one of which was not rested, so pretty unfortunate for me. I need to take care of this Robin, or else it's just gonna keep clearing my lower bodies here. And so likely we're gonna commit at least one swing to this turn. Just gonna think about how we're gonna do this. We do have a Rush Luffy in hand, but likely not gonna establish that just yet here. Not a whole lot of great plays. We could play out the blocker chopper to try to stymie some damage, just because I know Sanji's gonna be just playing a rusher every single turn. But we could also just do our best Jinbei impression, which is a little more fun in my opinion, which is the 3-drop chopper into a smaller body. And we're just gonna go 6k into Nico Robin here. Opponent just lets it go here. Opponent had a full grip in hand, could have definitely saved it, but I did potentially threaten another 6k attack into it, which would have eaten another 2 cards from hand. So definitely a smart play to just go ahead and let it go here, but would have potentially, this chopper. And funny enough, I actually get called away for a judge call. Oh my gosh. I am the store judge. I'm a certified level 1 judge, and often or not I get pulled away for judge calls, but it never has happened in the Final Fights before. But there's me doing my judgerly duty, making sure I get my judge pack at the end of the night. And I'm gonna go back to here, just thinking a little bit. I think what we're gonna do is just again play out, do the fun Jinbei thing, right? We want to just fill the board here. Likely just gonna go ahead, we'll fill the board, and then we could swing like 5k, 6k, right? Or we could swing even higher with Chopper, but we might just turn the Nami sideways here. And instead, no, we're gonna go a little bit higher with Chopper, opting to keep the Nami around as a potential way to deal with characters on the board. Again, board control matters. We're gonna look top 5. We do find a Tony chopper. That was the last card that we could look at here. So got a little nervous here. Opponent's just gonna take the 7k or the 8k hit, and then we're gonna play out our little chopper to put in a little bear here, and doing our best Jinbei impression. This is I think we're playing all post banless decks, so this is the closest you'll get to seeing a Jinbei in this format. So pretty solid, putting a whole lot of bodies on board. Opponent is really only going to be able to play one body a turn that he can swing with. So as long as I can clean up that body, my opponent will probably just stay, you know, one character per board here, unless they start flooding the board. But me with 5 characters on board and that Tony Chopper able to just keep putting bodies into play, forcing my opponent to swing into them is pretty solid for me. Though my hand is running low on 2K counters. I did just give up another 2K counter, and that was kind of the whole reason I was thinking, right? Do I just play out the Chopper blocker from hand, or do I go for the cool double body play? Because if I go for the cool double body play, I do lose a 1K, 2K out of hand. But opponent's just going to go swing 5K into the Chopper here. Going to tap 4, going to play out a Zoro. And could play another 3 to play out something else here. Would really like to not see a Nico Robin. That Nico Robin's very strong against Zoro. Just being able to clean up all the little bodies just by incidentally attacking here. But opponent's just going to swing... Gonna go ahead and attach 2, gonna go attach 3, gonna swing an 8K into that Chopper. I do not want to give up most of my hand for that, so I'm just gonna let it go. I think I decided the turn prior, especially committing into the Chopper into the other animal play, that I wasn't gonna try to protect the Chopper if my opponent decided to go for it here. And we're gonna go back to our turn here. I do have a Gum Gum Mulgun, a fantastic card for the Zoro deck. This card is just so good. It's such a unique card, allows you to get out of a lot of sticky situations, and I actually read the card now. I did misplay it earlier in the evening, which you may see in a future video, but I know what the card says now, and you know, I'm thinking about the card. But that Zoro on the other side, if it gets KO'd, it can put another 6,000 power or less card into play immediately, so it does replace itself, and I don't really want my opponent to do that here. That Zoro's only swinging for 5K, and they could potentially put in something even scarier, so I'm really not that afraid of the Zoro. So instead, we're just going to kind of bulk up board here. Always going to attach 1 to Zoro first. Kind of start buffing up the board here before you make any decisions. Got a whole lot of Dawn left here, but I think what we're going to do is just kind of keep pressuring my opponent here. Likely just ignore the Zoro, because again, I don't want to put another threat into play out of my opponent's hand. My opponent's hand is quite stacked here. We ended up attaching 1 to the Hiking Bear, using Hiking Bear's effect to give Chopper +1, and then Chopper's going to swing a big ol' 7 at lead here with the buff from the Hiking Bear as well as Zoro. We're going to swing a 6K here, gets a 2K out of hand, and we're going to swing a 7K here. Opponent took 1 7K before. Could they take another? Well, that's again, this whole time Sanji's got a whole lot of cards in hand, but I'm starting to read something here. And when opponent is taking a lot of chip shots, right, it starts to make you wonder what that hand looks like. And I know from experience playing against Sanji. Sanji sometimes can brick pretty hard. A lot of their, when attacking threats, right, that Sanji typically runs are not going to be counter cards. They're going to be all non-counters. Bricks, as some people call it. But yeah, so I'm trying to get a little bit of sight into my opponent's hand here, just by my plays here. You can kind of suss out what the opponent's rocking here, and my opponent's not sussing at all. Plays out a Nico Robin, not what I want to see. Gonna swing 6K, gonna clean up one of my other characters, likely that blocker Chopper. Is gonna go bang bang, blows up the blocker, and then swings the 6K into the other Chopper. And I only have 3 cards in hand. I think they're 1Ks or less, and I will not be able to counter that one here. So struggling a little bit to keep my board around here as we get into the middle of the game. But it's gonna go 5K to my 3K. I already showed that I can't counter out of that, and he's gonna go ahead and go 5K at lead. I'm gonna take that one. We'll happily add a card to hand here, and then just gonna play out a Sanji. Go to old, the board, Sanji's board's looking a whole lot better than mine at this current point. Last turn was looking pretty solid, able to pick some cards, but now we're kind of getting to this point where my board is dwindling. I am starting to go lower on life here as we go to our 10 Dawn turn, and my hand, it's all right. I got two Robsons. I got the Luffy, the Rush Luffy, and then the Mulgun here. This might be the turn I fire off the Mulgun, but unfortunately don't have like great targets. Typically, like, I like to play Mulgun to like clean up low bodies while also swinging into bigger bodies, but unfortunately my opponent doesn't have any 2Ks on the board or less that I can clean up. I've done a lot of plays like that over the evening, but Mulgun was likely just going to be used to take out Nico Robin. But I have to think here, Mulgun's ability gives -5K, and then if you control a 6K or more power or more character, then you get to KO something with 2K or less. So first we're gonna kind of do things in order here. We're going to attach 2, and then go ahead and rest 4, and we're going to play a Mulgun. We have a 6K on board. We're going to just target the Robin and then KO the Robin with the effect here. Me learning from experience, like I said, I misplayed that card earlier. I didn't realize the second condition was reliant on something And it kind of shot me in the foot earlier in the evening, but I was able to power through. Swing 7k, then we're going to swing another 6k here. Opponent gave me 2k, 1k, and opponent just takes the other one here. A whole lot of cards in hand, but not really doesn't look like he's got 2Ks. Even so, if my opponent had 6 or 7 cards in hand, I'd likely see 2 1Ks come out at a possibility of not getting set to 1. Getting set to 1 against aggro decks, incredibly strong, incredibly scary as well. So I'm very curious what's going on over there. Could potentially see a big body come down. I don't know if Sanji runs Shanks perhaps, but I know they do run things like Dragon. At least some aggro decks run Dragon. Opponent's gonna go ahead and separate 2, which leaves 8 up, which makes me think maybe a Dragon's coming. I'm gonna go ahead and take that one. 7k hit, as I don't think I really saw what I needed. I might have picked up a 2k off life though. Opponent's gonna go ahead and play out big old Dragon here. I think he's going for could try to go for a finishing play here, but likely gonna send something at Robson if I counter out here. But we're seeing a potentially 7k with Zoro here, but we're gonna start with the 6k, and because he swung with 6ks first, I really have to counter out of it here. I could counter out of the 7k hit, right, and get him to commit a few more resources, but I'm gonna go ahead and just counter out of that hit here, and then opponent's gonna go ahead and likely go 7k here. This 7k is going to be going at Robson. Because I countered out of the first hit, Robson is now a threat here, and my opponent's just going to go 9k lead. I'm going to take that one. I could have countered. I don't know if I could have countered that one. But just going to go back to our turn. Opponent's got a very scary board, a bunch of cards in hand. My opponent could be absolutely bluffing this entire game. He could have just been taking hits left and right because his hand is stacked. So I have to think pretty hard in this specific situation. I am not in a good spot right now. I've got a few rushers in hand. I've got a 2k. I've got 2 2ks. One of them is a blocker chopper, right? So I've got at least 1 blocker, but my opponent has 4 threats on board, 3 characters and a leader, and then Sanji could give something else rush. So I'm gonna potentially be facing 5 attacks next turn with only 1 life, 1 blocker, not a whole lot of counter in hand. Got at least 2 bricks. Not looking good for your boy here. So I'm thinking pretty hard. I'm in the tank, trying to decide what I want to do here. I could just like swing heavy with lead and just see what happens. I already attached 1 to lead. I always kind of do that now. It's kind of a habit at this point with Zoro. We're gonna go ahead and just attach 1, and we might just feel things out here. We're gonna go 7 at lead here, and opponent takes it. Okay, opponent has 7 cards in hand. Opponent's been taking hits all game long when they could have countered out of things. It started to make me suss out what could potentially be in my opponent's hand here. And we've only got 1 shot, 1 opportunity, 1 lifetime, and we clear. Good old Sanji. Zoro takes the game. Sanji had a whole lot of bricks in hand, about, what was it, 2k and counter in hand, between 2 1ks, and we were able to suss out that my opponent's hand was bricked, and take advantage of that and go for game. Anyways, if you enjoy this type of content, definitely subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.